we are at Filbert Street Garden with Miss Rodette Jones. Miss Rodette, could you give us a little background about yourself?
Yes, my name is Rodette Jones. I am the manager of Filbert Street Garden. I have been doing the garden manager position for 10 years. I started gardening because I wanted some therapeutic relief from a stressful job that I had. And I feel as though putting my hands in the soil was the way to do it, as well as getting a nutritious, organic diet for myself. I started farming because I seen it was a need to have nutritious fruits and vegetables and an urban food desert.
What keeps you farming?
Helping the people out is what keeps me farming. I like planting stuff. I like seeing the production process. I like seeing the vegetables flourish after we put them in the ground, and it brings a smile to my face. And the big part is providing nutritious vegetables to the community and also to our farm stands.
Were there any changes that took place during the pandemic?
During the pandemic, it was a scarce of fresh fruits and vegetables at the grocery store. So people came here to grow their own fruits and vegetables, which gave them the encouragement that they could come take these fruits and vegetables home and have their nutritious diet supplemented with foods that are organically grown at Filbert Street Garden.
As food safety educators, we know every farm is different, and every farmer benefits from getting one-on-one attention to help them think through the specific conditions at their farm. Whether it's educating them about produce safety, help with writing a food safety plan, design suggestions for a new wash pack shed, or understanding the produce safety rule. We begin by going to their farm to conduct a food safety risk assessment. The risk assessment helps them in several ways. It activates their food safety radar and helps them to see their property and operations through a food safety lens. It helps them identify where they need to focus their limited time and money, what they can do quickly and easily, and where they can make improvements over time. And it shows where we can continue to be helpful by providing them with targeted information and training. Today at Filbert Street Garden, we are going to walk and talk about the history of the land being farmed, the area surrounding this land, and what is raised and grown right here. As we walk and talk, we will keep our eyes open for different food safety risks that may be present and how those risks could be reduced. So tell us about Filbert Street Garden.
So Filbert Street Garden has been here for 10 years. It's an adopted lot through the city of Baltimore, and we are currently in the process of getting a deed from the land from the Department of Public Works. Before Filbert Street Garden became a farm, it was a vacant lot that they had to clean before they made it a farm.
Ms. Rodette, can you give us some information about what is surrounding Filbert Street Garden?
So we have a water tower that's been constructed here for over a century, or almost a half a century old, by the city of Baltimore. We also have adjacent to that the Curtis Bay Elementary School, which the kids come over and do garden workshops here, right here in the garden. We also have residential all the way surround us on the other sides, and we have a coal mine, which is interesting, at the bottom of the hill with a lot of truck traffic. Filbert Street Garden is raising sheep. We have 2 sheep. We have 2 turkeys. We have ducks. We have chickens. We have billy goats. And we have bees on the farm.
So can you tell us about the crops that are being grown here at Filbert Street Garden?
A lettuce in the hoop house. We have cauliflower in the hoop house. We have kale in the hoop house. We also had zucchini and squash growing in the outer garden. Also, we have pumpkins growing, kale and collard greens on the outside. We have strawberries, we have okra, we had tomatoes growing. So it's just an array of vegetables that we have growing at Filbert Street Garden.
Do you use any animal manure here at Filbert Street Garden?
Of course, we have chicken manure readily used for our garden soil. So what we do is take in the chicken manure that we get from the chicken coop. We take and mix it with compost or regular soil to enrich our plants. Very interesting you say that too. And we also use the manure from the ducks pond that we have over here. We use that to establish the roots of the plants. So we use that water to establish the seedlings of our newly developed seedling plants.
What can you tell us about the compost that is being produced here at Filbert Street Garden?
The Baltimore Compost Collective Project is hosted by Filbert Street Garden. It's a residential compost pickup project, which they pick up compost from South Baltimore residents. They bring it back here and they process the food scraps into compost. The compost is produced here at the garden for our local gardeners.
Now that we're at the farm and we can see all the different things, all the different operations on the farm, we can start to think about where there are food safety risks and how those risks can be reduced, or if there's already something here that's reducing risk. All of the animals are in pens, but at least once a day they're allowed out and they can roam freely through the farm. So there's quite a lot of poop on the ground. Is there a way to prevent that poop getting into the crops?
All of the garden plots are fenced off, so the animals can't get into the crops.
Dana, if you're working with animals and produce on the same farm, is there a way that you can reduce the risk of cross-contamination?
After touching animals or animal manure, you should change your shoes and your outer clothing and wash your hands thoroughly before moving over to work the produce.
White Lock Community Farm has 3 hand washing stations that use municipal water, and they are stocked with soap, paper towels, and trash can with a lid, and a safe way to dispose of wastewater. We have signage to remind people that we take food safety and hand washing very seriously. Wet your hands, add soap, and wash your hands thoroughly. Front and backs of your hands, the tips in between your fingers and your lower wrist. Scrub your palms with your fingernails, which get them both cleaner. Rinse with clean water, then dry with a paper towel, not on your clothes. Put used paper towels in the covered trash can so that they don't blow around the farm. Now you're ready to start work.
If you have livestock and produce on the same farm, like the goats we have behind us, you want to make sure that you either have separate tools for working with the animals and then working with the produce, or you want to have a really good standard operating procedure for cleaning and sanitizing the equipment between uses. Kimberly, they're making compost here at Filbert Street Garden. Do you think it's safe? Do you think there's any risk of runoff from the compost?
The compost is on the far southeast corner of the farm, and it is slightly downhill from the produce, so there is no risk of runoff. What keeps you farming?
I like teaching people how to put their hands in the soil, how to sustain themselves by getting nutritious fruits and vegetables on their table, and here is the place to do it.